So after getting the Uchi Katana in the last episode, this time around we're gonna go down into Blighttown to get the other katana, the Yaito, as well as our Shadow Garb so we can gear up and play through the game as the ninja. Always a good idea to send the elevator back up in case you do die, so it saves you some time coming back down. Now, this elevator has actually been very useful for a lot of community purposes in the past. Way back at the start of the game, before data mining was really available, people used the elevator to measure things like the amount of parry frames or attack frames a certain animation had. So the way they did this was get right up to the edge of the elevator as it was going down, and then they would parry or attack the wall, and by looking at the sparks that came up from the wall as you were hitting it, you could kind of determine how many frames a certain animation or parry lasted. Before we go into right here, which was going to take us to Blighttown, there's actually a pretty well hidden blacksmith right here. Many people think you pretty much have to wait until you get to Andre before you can start smithing your weapons, but at this point you can actually already find a smith who is stuck in this little jail, and he can again upgrade your armor. He doesn't sell any pieces of a Titanite though, but if you do end up finding some, you can already have your weapons upgraded a bit over here. So this is one of the most useful places where a Master Key comes in very handy. Over there is the Valley of the Drakes, which is going to take us to the back entrance of New Londo. If we would want to get the Red Crystal Ring, it's right over there, but not much of a point in doing that right now. You can also jump between the two sides of the valley. Not recommended, kills a lot of time if you die, but still it's possible. And so now that we've made it to the back entrance of Blighttown, I'm gonna try and not kill most of these monsters because I'm very underleveled doing so. Just gonna try and dodge them as well as I can and yeah, just run through to get the first bonfire. For speedrunners, there's a nice little trick you can use here. It basically involves running off this beam and then performing a series of seemingly random jumps and rolls, and that will help you get down while taking minimal damage and getting down very, very quickly. And that still managed to hit me, but that's alright. But I no longer remember the exact sequence or places that you're supposed to roll, so I'm just not going to do it. Always thought it was a shame that these guys don't drop anything at all. They literally have nothing in their drop table. They don't give very many souls either though, so it doesn't really matter much. I'm hoping that everything's gonna go fine with the S-Fix, because, you know, reportedly at least, I haven't used this the first time I'm using it myself, but there should be several issues with hit or collision detection rather, especially on ladders and elevators, so I'm quite scared that I'm just gonna fall through the floor in one of these places. So I'm gonna hope that that's not gonna happen. And we're just gonna take, yeah. So that's a very useful trick. If you quit out while falling to your death before you hit the ground, you actually just go back to the last place you were at. Kind of cheap, I know, but I mean, it's not as if there's much risk of me dying. I just had to run back where I came from. And referring to that quitting out falling trick I did earlier, there was a much more complicated version of it that actually lets you skip huge parts of the game if you do it correctly. And it's very popular in speedruns, of course, and it basically requires you to get the sorcery called fall control, which lowers your fall damage basically when you fall not as far as it would kill you. So lethal falls will still be lethal just the same, but other ones will drastically lower the amount of damage that you take from them, and by combining that spell together with quitting out at the very right moment, you can actually fall through death barriers, and as soon as you hit the ground and you hear your death scream start, you basically quit and reload to save, and you will be, well, basically at the bottom of a pit. And it's one of the techniques that people have used to fall through the waters in New Londo before actually draining them, so that you end up with the Four Kings way before it's actually possible normally. So this guy is always such a piece of shit. He's like right in the middle of where you want to go, and I'm also being attacked by the blow darts. And if I get hit by one of those, it's pretty much game over. Okay, well, just one hit, so I'm still fine. It really is so nice being able to play through Blighttown on PC at 60 frames per second for once. Like, it's normally such a laggy hell, really, where looking down at the floor is one of the only ways you can get a somewhat stable frame rates in it. So it's really, really nice just being able to run through it as it is. So we're just gonna see if we can make it past here. We're pretty close to the bonfire, but of course the final section is by far the hardest one, because these guys will come up and try to fuck my day up. And I can't get through him. Oh, there we go. When you reach the top of a ladder and someone else is trying to get down or standing there, there's like very specific circumstances in which you will like clip through them pretty much. And I was hoping that that would happen, which they didn't really. And now the dogs are probably gonna fuck my day up, but like, I'm probably going to be able to light the bonfire but not actually sit at it with them behind me this close. Yeah, because they do come quite... They do follow you quite far. Well, at least I'm not poisoned anymore, but I don't know if I will be able to kill them. That was a terrible decision. I knew I couldn't poise through that. Actually, it's not here. It is here. Let's just keep going. Maybe they'll kill themselves, and with a bit of luck, I will be able to just get the shadow set as it is. Also, this guy is just waiting in the jar. He'll come out as soon as the jar breaks, or if you actually accidentally bump into it for some reason, but otherwise he'll just stay in there. Right, let's see if we can clip through him. Yeah, so that's what I was talking about earlier. You can actually clip through them if they're waiting for you right at the top. So now I just need to make sure, because I really don't remember this area very well, where exactly I can pick up the shadow garb. I know that the Yaito is right over there, so we'll get that one first. And I should have switched to 30 frames per second before trying that jump. And there we go. That's the shadow outfit that we've been waiting for. So let's try this again, but this time using 30 frames per second. See if we get a better result this time around, as I get hit in the back by the blow darts. Yeah, see, much easier on 30 frames per second. And there we go. That's the Yaito, the second weapon that we wanted. So now that we have both of those, I'm just gonna head back to where we were at earlier and progress through the game normally. Right, yeah, I can fit through here. Just take the same route back, it's not that complicated. Gonna dodge this guy, which I fail at because I jumped instead of rolling, but I'm probably dead. Looks like I'm getting lucky. Looks like I'm getting lucky. Yeah, famous fucking last words indeed. So now that we're down here anyways, might as well just collect the first Firekeeper soul while we're at it. I used to hate this elevator thing so much on my first playthrough. I would always, like, 9 out of 10 times I would die dismounting the fucking thing, so watch me die. Okay. I've learned now. Not really expecting to survive this, because we're gonna get toxic for sure almost, and we have to get down there with the two fire-breathing dogs, and they're gonna do their absolute best to fuck this up. Yeah, so there's this toxic. And with 0 poise, there we go. Yeah. There was a spot where you could basically get like safe for a second to at least heal. Okay, yeah. Although I do have 2k souls, maybe I should try to make it out of here. Looks like we'll be able to. Yeah, I'll just use a homeward bone and get out of here. And of course I don't have any fucking equipped, but should be down here somewhere. Oh yeah, so as I was talking about, if you look up you can actually see the sky. You can see it from pretty much anywhere in Blighttown, although sometimes it's kind of hard to angle yourself up high enough to be able to see it, but despite probably getting the idea that it's different, it's entirely open door, and these are the big stone pillars that you can tell that I was talking about earlier. And again, you can see the tree, which we could also see from up at Firelink, and you can even see some green vegetation, which is where Firelink Shrine is at. And there we go, we're in the clear now, so yeah, now we can head back to Firelink, and we've got both our katanas and our ninja armor. So I always really liked the transitioning colors, how you can see quite far now, but once you go inside it becomes so much darker and gloomier, and it gets this sickly green glow. But once you're out in the fresh air once more, everything seems a lot better again. One of the things I like about Dark Souls. So now that we've got all our weapons and gear, then next episode we're gonna go ahead and deal with the rest of the Undead Burg as well as with the Taurus Demon. Again, thank you for watching.